the things I really want to get into today, I've told you before, is Gras. I just want a little
Right.
bit more of that musical journey behind Gras, because that's stuff to me that really I find fascinating, and I'm excited to see where you go with that. Um,
Okay, cool.
so let's get it started. Today, I'm lucky to talk. This has been crazy. I'm lucky today to talk with Andreas, who I think everyone knows as the vocalist for Dark Funeral, an incredible band, but also involved in some other projects, in particular Gras, which is a band that's near and dear to my heart that I want to talk about. Curse 13, Dome Guard, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I don't know.
I'm excited to take the chance to have a conversation with you. So thank you very much for taking the time. Um, let's just start off by talking about, I know right now you're in Santiago, Chile.
Yeah.
Um, Talk to me just a little bit about kind of how things are in your corner of the world right now, relative to just the strange ass situation we find ourselves living in right now. I'll just kind of turn it over to you. What's it like?
Yeah, I went down to Chile like when this shit started to hit the fan slowly. So I made it like 1 or 2 weeks before country started to shut down completely, and everyone was joking about it, and it's gonna be a problem. But yeah, now we know it became a fucking problem. But yes, I went down here, and Europe shut down, and here in Chile it took a bit more time. But when things started to happen, they really happened. So we were in like a 3 week complete lockdown
Yeah.
here in Santiago, in this area where I am. The strategy here seems to be to put lockdowns on places where you have like a big spread, and then you reevaluate week for week if the numbers are rising too fast or if it's a stable amount and so on. So right now I'm not in quarantine, so I'm allowed to go out. And we have like a curfew at 10 in the evening, so between 10 and 5 nobody's allowed to be outdoors. But there's nothing to do out there anyway. Pubs are closed, everything is closed except for grocery stores and pharmacies basically. So I'm waiting this out basically. That's all I can do at this point.
Have you been finding, I know that you like to go for runs, I think. We had
Yeah.
tried to do an interview before and I fucked up
Yeah,
my mind, didn't record. But you had mentioned at that time that runs were kind of, just physical exercise was a way that you were dealing with this situation. Are you able now to kind of do that more frequently?
yeah. Those 3 lockdown weeks, I live in a 20-story building, so the stairs, that was kind of the key to exercise. So I made 100 floors up, 100 floors down almost every day.
Wow.
It's harder than one might think to do that shit. And the staircases, it's not usually have the best ventilation either. So it's like going from pretty cool temperature down in the bottom, but when you reach like 15, almost 20, it's hard to breathe. But it was good exercise. But now I can be out running again, which is fucking awesome because the weather is still nice. We're in the southern hemisphere, so it's like autumn here now, but it's still warm and nice out. I think we have 26 degrees today. Well, exercise has been improved now since the complete lockdown is over. And the weather is nice and it's springtime, so I think maybe go out to a park or something just to hang a couple of hours. It's nice to be outdoors.
How are the rest of your bandmates? Because you have people kind of everywhere around the globe to some extent. How is everyone doing at this point?
Well, yeah, when shit hit the fan, we were super scattered. The drummer is in the US somewhere. I think he still is. And Arman, he was in Mexico when this went down, so he had a struggle to get back, but he's back in Sweden now. And yeah, we were just kind of waiting this out. We see our festivals this summer, one by one they fall or postpone or whatever. So it's just, we can just wait and see where this will lead. As it is right now, I don't think there will be any European festivals this summer anyway. So, and I don't think I can leave this country in a couple of months, at least now, because flights aren't going to Europe. from here.
That's crazy. So let's use this as a way to bridge over to the music.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, I think most people, in particular here in the States, know you as the vocalist for Dark Funeral, and so, and rightly so, because incredible band, incredible history of that band. But there's another history for you. Life didn't start for Andreas with Dark Funeral.
No.
And I told you the last time we talked that for me, you first crossed my radar with the band Gras.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is, and it was that Necrology of the Witch EP. I talked to you about that last time. That's just a fucking great album. I'd like to kind of unpack that album a little bit. And then also, I mentioned to you that Vossen has become in some ways the soundtrack to my lockdown. And that's another great release. So what I'd like to know from you is just kind of take me back, you know, kind of around 2010, probably a little bit before that, and just talk to me about where Gras kind of arose from, what your inspiration and passion were, and just talk about that journey a little bit, if you don't mind, because it's a fucking great.
I think I need to go out all the way back to 1995 to give you a better picture of things. I was a very young man. That's when I started my first band. I come from the north of Sweden, like fuck north, above the polar circle north, right. Really. Yes. So I had a lot of bands up there, and then in '98 I started Cursed 13, and that's been my main occupation. I moved away from the north to get somewhere, really, because up there's like snow and shit, you know. If you're not interested in skiing or freezing, then there's nothing for you, really. I guess you have the same, but you call it Canada. But anyway, as an aspiring musician, it was kind of pointless to live up there. So I moved down, and for the first time, I made Cursed 13 into a proper band when I met Dimman. And we released a split with Doomguard, which is a band from Gothenburg. And then we started to interfere with members in between the two bands, Cursed 13 and Doomguard, for a while. And we were about to record the first album for Cursed 13 in 2009, I think. But we got into this huge writer's block. We had like 80% done, and it's like, no, we're not getting anywhere. We were frustrated as fuck. So me and Dima, we went to a rehearsal place, brought my fucking PC, some shitty microphones that we had obtained from different places, rigged up the drum kit, and just recorded whatever the fuck we wanted to record. And that became the first Gras EP.
Yes.
Which was kind of improvised. The whole thing was like a big improvisation, having fun with a crate of beer in the rehearsal room. So we recorded that shit, and then just for killing some time, we mixed it a bit, and sent it out to some labels to see if there was any response, and there was. So we decided to mix it more properly and, you know, make it into something. And that's how the whole Gras concept started off, as a writer's block from Cursed 13, which is something I brought from the north. So everything is kind of connected there. And
that EP was called Hellfire. I'm going to get the pronunciations wrong. I'm sorry. But
yes, that was the Hellfire EP, yes.
Okay, Hellfire. And I'll put links to these in the descriptions. I find that it's helpful for viewers to be able to kind of go and click on some stuff right away.
Everything is on Spotify these days. So,
beautiful.
I think that's the best way to listen to the whole things.
So it starts out of just you getting together. You're having writer's block. You get together and basically jam in some ways. You just have creative experience, and out of that comes the EP. And then after that, we have a self-titled LP that comes out in 2011, I think, right?
Yes, exactly. So we got this awesome response for this EP. So we thought, well, let's keep the wheels turning a bit more. And before we released it, we decided the original name for this band was Nauther, which means necessity, and that's what it was, a necessity to do something else. But then this whole concept started to fall in place when the lyrics started to exist in a way. They were born. So this whole thing went from, again, a necessity into something else, which isn't really a necessity anymore, because the need was over. Now it's just a want and the desire, if you will, to continue this. And we decided to make a 2-album concept around death. That's what we decided before we even had the first album done. So I don't know why we took on this massive quest or whatever the fuck it was we did. In hindsight, it was pretty weird. But
so you started with this giant vision and then kind of
yes.
That's great.
Yes, and then along the way we made this video for a song from DP. The first album was finalized, and by then we have gotten offers to do shows. So we had to recruit like a live band for that. So yeah, it became, and to some frustration, it took over because we were still working on that fucking Cursed 13 album. So Gras came and kind of took over without us having any say in it. And we did finalize that album also in 2011, the Cursed 13 album. It's called Triumph, and it's also on all the platforms if you want to listen to it. But yeah, Gras took off, and we did the first album, and then when we were working on the Necrology of the Witch was originally intended to be like a split or something. I don't remember the specific details about that, but that's why it's short. We didn't make it into an album. That could have been the second album, but it wasn't, because it was intended as a split, which didn't happen. So and we had everything recorded, so we couldn't really add more songs to it because the sound and all would be different. So we decided to release it as an EP. And I think we actually recorded the Mayhem cover, the Freezing Moon cover. I think that was an addition to it because it's an EP. It doesn't really matter. You can have this extra stuff. Yeah.
So, I'd love to pause here and talk about this album in particular. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to find out the backstory, because for a shorter release, for an EP, it takes the listener on a journey.
Yeah.
In many ways, it's a short concept album almost about the journey to the afterlife.
Yeah.
And when I think about this EP, the words that jump out to me are experimentation, right? Yeah. It starts with some almost Gregorian chanting like at the beginning, and that kind of builds this mood and atmosphere and then pulls you in. It's also very complex writing. I find it's very complex. And then like the use of almost ambient tracks. There's the instrumental track. I'm not sure if I'm getting the translation right, but basically Towards the River Styx.
Yeah.
And that's like taking, again, the listener on a journey. So for me, the thing that I loved about it was that you were able to have it be compact, but still take the listener on quite a trip. And then to throw in Freezing Moon was just ballsy. That was almost punk rock, in my opinion. It was kind of like, yeah, and on top of that, I'm throwing in a Mayhem song. Fuck you. So I just talk a little bit about, am I right that was kind of a concept behind Necrology, or is that me putting something in there?
No, I think you're right, because it was intended as a split, which I don't remember the details of anymore, which was the other band involved in that. But yes, that because the first album is about death. The last song, Farewell, which means farewell, basically, from the perspective of a coffin. You come and lay down in me, that kind of poetry, like inverted poetry about death. The coffin is talking. So it was more about ritual surrounding death and the moment of death. And Necrology of the Witch is the transition, and which leads to ending, which is like beyond.
Yes.
So yes, it's like a passage, and also I think maybe the EP format fits it well. I mean, it's 28 minutes in total anyway, so it's almost like an album in length.
Yes.
But yes, and all these ambient things that you mentioned. Actually, we haven't stolen any fucking samples at all for that. Everything is from my own library. I have recordings of rowing a boat.
So you do a lot of field recordings yourself just throughout?
Yeah. I do that, yes. And when I see something interesting, when I am in an interesting environment, I try to film also, because it might be used into short clips in a video or whatever. So we extracted shit tons of sounds, and some sounds that we didn't have, so we just went and created them.
Yes.
Instead of doing samples. And you hear that in the end of the first album, you have this guy hanging himself. We spent a couple of days creating that sound. Which rope is making the right sound when you snap it? How can we record it? Will the person pee himself? Yes, of course. So you have these drops. And what floor makes the best pee, death pee sound? You know. So we went through all kinds of.
This is the attention to detail.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, small things like that. So we did the whole thing, and even this in the last song, this person is putting on a vinyl, which plays this old song, which is actually, I created that from notes. It's 17th century Swedish troubadour making songs. So I found the note sheet and created that and recorded it and tried to make it sound old. So everything is made for real. It's not sampled from anywhere. It's me singing in that fucking song.
Yes. Yeah. It's and like I told you, that EP just when I heard that, I was like, oh my fucking God. You know, that really just it just totally captured my attention. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, so who is this guy? And I'm finding out about you. And then the next thing I know, just to take a quick aside here, it's December 2014, and this is from my perspective. Suddenly I'm like, oh my God, that guy is now showing up in the Nail Them to the Cross video. And he's now in Dark Funeral. Whoa! So talk to me a little bit about how that kind of came about, because from Necrology of the Witch to Dark Funeral, and then we'll shoot back to Gras after that.
Yes, we released the Necrology, and we did a bunch of shows for that EP actually, and then we got in contact with the Dark Funeral guys, with Arman mainly, because they were doing this 20th anniversary show in Stockholm with tons of old members from all the eras. The original singer, Tim Gorot, and Caligula was there singing, like massive. So we were the support band for that, and big support. So it was cool, and we got to know the guys in the pre-production of that. Putting out flyers, posters, and all that kind of shit. And the guys said that, well, Caligula is ending after this. This is his like last show, and we don't know where to go from this, to put out another ad for the vocalist. And they were like in a position where they didn't really know how to attack the problem, not having a vocalist. So I spent like an evening thinking, well, maybe I could do it. Yeah, maybe. I'm putting this Swedish kind of guilt shaming yourself thing that we have aside, and yes, actually I can do it. So I sent an email to Arman and said that if you want me to try, I can do that, and I am ready to go on tour. Don't have to deal with all these issues that people have, houses, mortgages, they cannot go, they have work. Yeah. So I was kind of liberated from all of that. So it fit quite well, and I learned a couple of songs and we rehearsed. And I was a member basically before that show even happened.
Wow.
So it was kind of cool. And in for that show, we had one Gras song ready, Where Shadows Dwell. So we recorded it fast as fuck to have it released on the same day of the show.
Wow. And
that later ended up on the ending album, but in Swedish. So we made a video and everything and released it on the show day, basically. So we premiered it live also that day.
Yeah, because before, so the single drops, Nail Them to the Cross. It's got a video. B-side is Temple of Ahriman, I believe. Yes. Is the B for that one. And then Where Shadows Forever Reign doesn't come out until 2016. We have Gras. So take us to ending. So this drops.
Well, yes. But the thing is that it's easy to confuse, because there is a Gras song called Where Shadows Dwell.
Right.
Yes, and that's the one we released on the show day. Yes, so it was a Gras song that we released there. And then after that was in May. And then in December we had this Nail Them to the Cross, Temple of Ahriman. thing going on. Yes, so there was like a half a year of secrecy, if you will, while we made those songs. Finished. Arman had like demo versions of riff ideas. It was like half a songs. So we compiled them and decided to make my announcement with that single.
Perfect.
Instead of, saying this is the new singer and nobody knows what the fuck is, how things are gonna be. So just here you go, listen.
You come out of the gates running, basically. You hit the ground running with this.
Yeah, exactly. There was no point in announcing anything before, because there is nothing to show for it. We had no gigs or anything. So
at this point, with any of your bands, how extensive had the touring been with Gras and Curse 13 and some of these other bands? Had you been on some kind of local to bigger tours at this point, or is it when you entered Dark Funeral that you really started to do big scale, like, holy shit, I'm in America now kind of thing?
No, we haven't done any big scale things. Just like neighboring countries and European single shows, smaller festivals and things like that. So yeah, with Dark Funeral, everything kind of exploded. Yes.
What was that like for you? Were you just like, holy shit, and it just kind of took off? I mean, it's got to be pretty interesting to go on your first tour like that. Just as an individual, what was that like?
Of course, it's interesting. I mean, you get to see places you haven't seen before, and wake up in a different country every morning when you tour in Europe, basically. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's hard work as fuck, but it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to take the last album I want to get to in the discography, and then I've got a couple of other kind of follow-up questions, is just, again, for me, Vossen, coming back to Gras here, and there's of course the Ending LP in 2015. There's a single that you put out in 2017, but then Vossen drops in 2018, and again, this to me was just a really great album. There are some real ballsy songs. The Devil's Tribe, to me, is just a fucking song about being a rebel. The idea of I piss on your boots while you're looking at the sun, dude. That is a great fucking line. But you've also got some really interesting, again, kind of some experimental, I think, again, the pronunciation is going to be off, but Jallarhorn, right, almost has, I'm going to use the phrase synthwave intro to it. And so just talk to me about this album. And also in this album, the theme of war, right? We talked about how the theme of death was in some early releases. This one, it's the theme of war that comes through to me as a listener. And also in The Devil's Tribe, the idea about war on everything, war on rules, war on just kind of one's own notions about oneself and kind of smashing those things. So I'll turn the floor over to you. Talk to me about Vossen, because it kicks fucking ass, brother.
Well, to do that in a context that makes sense, we have to go back to Ending again. Because Ending was the second full length on this concept that we did. And it's been like a couple of years since we did something with Curse 13. So when Ending was finalized, I hadn't been doing a lot of... The Curse 13 has always been my box of experimentation. There is a single there which I include a lot of jazz elements, really, really weird stuff. That's been my playground always, to incorporate, like you say, some techno elements, some jazz. You have all kinds of shit in there. So after Ending was done, this big massive lump was finally completed. It's there. So we even changed the logo.
Right.
Yes, and this single in between is also groovy. Ramsvarta tankar. It's like doing something different, because this lump is this lump. There's no point in continuing in this, because this is done. So a lot of things that I intentionally wrote for Cursed 13 started ending up in Gras. So that's where you have this weirdest experimental thing going on, and a lot of grooviness coming from the now defunct Cursed 13, basically.
Yeah.
So and I don't know.
Your
for the next album, I have a seven-string guitar, so who knows? Maybe it become even heavier. I don't know. But that's the way to understand Vossen. It's like missing playing the groovy shit from Cursed 13, basically. So, and as this concept is done, we have a new logo. We can do what the fuck we want. There are no boundaries anymore, because we started Gras really weirdly by setting boundaries for ourselves. That's which in retrospect was awesome, because I really like this whole concept. But that's done. So now I feel that I want to do something different for myself. I don't care if, I mean, some people like when bands sounds the same year after year. I like when there is a development. That doesn't mean that I necessarily always like the development, but I appreciate that there is one. And for me to evolve as a musician, of course, needed to do something different. And that's what Vossen is. It's a big experimentation of this explosion of everything.
Yes.
Without any boundaries at all. We actually recorded the album twice.
Huh.
The first time I wasn't really pleased with the outcome of the how the drums were recorded. Some things that I felt that mixing isn't going to fix this. There is something that is lacking in the sound, not in the performance, but in the sound. So we recorded it again, and that's actually when The Devil's Tribe came into, because I had written it. So shall we include this one? Yeah, okay, let's do that. So it wasn't in the original recording. So there are two versions of Vossen, of which the first one is, I guess, it's a more ending I like. And then included some new stuff when we recorded it again, which made Vossen stand out, because in a way there's almost an album in between ending and Vossen.
Yeah.
So we get this a little bit bigger leap, if you will, which is weird, but I think it worked out.
I think it worked great. I think in some ways The Devil's Tribe as a song is kind of, I see a lot of ground to explore down that avenue. I'm excited to see where Gras goes down the road, because you're throwing a lot of interesting ideas out there. You're kind of like a chef who's bringing some new ingredients to the table and trying to put them together in a unique way. So are there plans for, and here talk about Gras, and of course people are going to want to know about Dark Funeral, but talk about Gras, what the plans are there, and also kind of what the future holds for Dark Funeral as well.
Well, to finish off this Gras thing, I think I have 6 to 8 semi-finished songs for the next album, and I'm playing 7-string now, which means that some of the shit will be heavier.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of new things in there, and I'm glaring at my guitar actually for inspiration to know what to say. But yes, if you liked Cursed 13, I think you will like the next Gras album even more. You know, I think I'm taking it musically a bit more in that direction.
Beautiful. Are you bring that shit to the United States? Come on, brother. I want to see Gras live. We gotta talk offline about trying to get you up here, okay?
You need to talk to this Trump guy to get the visas less expensive.
If I ever get to talk to him, I got some other things I'm going to say first, and then we'll get around to the visa.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest obstacle for smaller bands to get to the United States is the cost of the visas. It's insane. And I know some bands are trying to cheat that by not having visas, but if you get caught, the consequences, it's not worth it, you know.
Yeah.
So no, until the day comes and we can do it properly, then no, there will be no United States with Gras. No, it's just not possible. Yeah. Well, if I win the lottery, another thing.
And if I win the lottery, we'll work something out, okay? I'll have to be the roadie though on that tour. What about Dark Funeral? What's kind of down the line for Dark Funeral? I know I see sometimes on social media that there's some songs that are kind of out there and in the works. I know. So just tell me kind of what's going on there.
Yes, we did one show this year. That was the last one before I took off to Chile now, and before everything went to shit. Basically, it was this Nordic metal cruise, this boat experience, and we have been since even before that working on new songs. But now, when we're in quarantine and everything, so yes, this is like the main priority now to dedicate this time when we cannot be on stage to actually to try to create the next album. We have some songs that are finished and almost finished and in various stages of being completed, and we're just waiting until we have enough to dare to set a time for a studio. So everyone is asking when. Well, my answer is when it's done. And that's the only thing I can say, because everything else is just a lie. I can guess when this Corona shit will end, but that's just gonna be, I don't know. Nobody knows. So as soon as we feel that we are in a place we can basically enter a studio at any point, then we will book a time to do so. And of course, we want to rehearse the material. Once it's done, we want to rehearse it, not to go into the studio completely unprepared. Absolutely. To be able to focus on making the best possible recording instead of learning the shit while there, you know.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to it coming out. So you guys, like you said, it's going to come out when it's ready, and you guys feel it's ready. Fuck any external pressure or anything like that. You put out the product that you want to put out, and that's what's going to
I mean, sometimes when people ask me, and then they insist on asking, but can't you give, like, is this year or next year or something? And well, something that I reply to that is, every time someone asks this, it will be delayed 2 weeks. So, but I mean, it's impossible to say. That's the thing. It's completely impossible to say.
To be honest with you, especially fucking right now, we don't know when anything's gonna fucking happen right now.
No. That's true. But the thing is that we're not procrastinating. We're not delaying anything by ourselves. It's just it needs to take the time as it takes to complete an album that we can stand for forever again. You know.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it comes down to. Nobody wants a rushed album anyway, because then what's the point?
It suffers. You know, there are innumerable stories in the history of the music industry of albums that were rushed, and a lot of times they sucked. There's a couple tracks in there that are good.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of filler material too. So I think you guys.
That's the thing. And I mean, how many albums would have been awesome EPs if you scale them down a bit?
Exactly.
They're not complete albums. So no, we don't want to do that. And the same thing is with Gras. So we don't want to make anything that is less than, in our opinion, perfect.
What is it that Orson Welles used to say? We sell no wine until it's time, right? You let that stuff wait. Here's the last question that I got for you. What do you think is the influence musically on you that most of your listeners would be really surprised by? Like, oh my God, I can't believe he listens to that. What is the one that you think people would be shocked by? Or not shocked, but just really surprised?
Well, a lot of people in the United States seems to be surprised that I love country music.
I'm shocked.
So,
that's great.
So,
what is it about that genre that really that draws you in?
Well, to begin with, there is a darkness in it. I mean, I'm not talking about this big band stuff. I'm more down to, if you scale it down to this singer-songwriter guys. I mean, Willie Nelson is still awesome. He's still putting out awesome albums.
Waylon Jennings was
Waylon. Johnny put out albums until Townes Van Sant was a fucking genius.
I think Christopherson gets sometimes overlooked in that.
Oh yeah. I mean, this whole. The Highwaymen gang. The Highwaymen live at Nassau. That's one of the best live albums ever.
Absolutely.
So people get surprised by that sometimes, and I love the Doors. I love Creedence Clearwater Revival. I love that kind of shit. Actual musicians playing actual instruments without being necessarily Christian cunts, at least not in the musical outcome of it.
Yes. The Doors. Now that to me is a real, because I can see the way that you utilize in some ways the keyboard elements within Gras. Right now that I'm picturing that Doors element sonically, the use of keyboard obviously in the Doors there as well. That's fascinating. Plus the lyrical, Morrison was a fucking genius.
Yeah, it was, yes.
When it came to lyrics. And I'll just say, I'll just end with this. You know, lyrically, the person that to me, you're kind of like a modern day Dante, brother. You speak a lot of loss. You speak a lot of grief about those topics. And so to me, you're kind of like that modern day Dante. You've taken us on some pretty dark journeys. And I just want to thank you for the tunes that you've been a part of thus far. And I'm looking forward to seeing where both Gras and Dark Funeral go and where your musical journey takes you.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. I want to tell you to be safe. Hopefully we'll all start getting out more frequently as this hopefully resolves itself sooner. But if worse comes to worse, we can just run up and down flights of stairs until this shit blows over.
Yes, yeah, and that's not the only thing I've been up to lately. I can also reveal that I'm releasing a photo book.
Really?
Yes.
And so is this just, I'll turn it over to you. Tell me what kind of photography and...
Well, I've been traveling a lot, and I might also add that I'm not a professional photographer in any way. So I take pictures with whatever I have at hand. But compiling these thousands of photos from all over the place, I felt like I want to do something mainly for myself, you know, like a story, if you will, based on pictures. So I think it's 116 pages. I'm actually, before I was talking to you, I'm actually talking to the printing company now about the detailed specifics for format. So hopefully it will be out during the summer. And also I will release my first solo single.
Whoa, okay, you got to say more about that. So go ahead.
Yes, so like 5 years ago, maybe even more, me and my friend Einar, who is active in a band called Fortid and also in the Icelandic band Katla.
Okay.
We were drunk in Oslo. So, and he was in a band called Den Sakalte, I think, Norwegian band, and we were thinking about what the fuck do we sound like ourselves. I was in Dark Funeral, he had that other band, you know, bands here, bands there, people everywhere. So we figured that let's do something together. Let's make a split single with Who Am I and Who Are You. So we have one song each, and they're like both 8.5 minutes long. We have an Icelandic drummer who plays on both songs. And some various people involved in this, friends from all over the world, basically. And it's being mixed right now in Greece.
Oh.
So that's also planned.
Can you tease us when this might be released?
Yes, actually, with this I can.
Okay.
As soon as the mix is done and the master is done, we will send it to print, and it will be released as a CD digipack. So it's like 16, 17 minutes long in total with both songs. And as soon as we have it, it will be out by the summer, hopefully at the same approximate time as my book, like June or July, latest August.
Wonderful.
So it will be like a really limited edition and releases from both the book and the split single. But yeah, that's something that we're working on in the background. So yes, while you wait for more ground or funeral, I have some interesting outputs also.
Beautiful. Well, I'll look forward to those. I look forward to the photo book. I'm really, because I do photography, so I'm really interested in looking at that.
Okay.
And then most importantly, I'm just looking for all this shit to be over and get back into the pits and see some good music, brother. So as I said, listen, take care of yourself. Thank you very much for taking the time. Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
I'll see you on the other side, okay?
Take care, man.
All right.